What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Run Your Football Manager 2017 video, and today it's episode 1 in my Building Berlin series, obviously with Hertha Berlin in the Bundesliga. It's my main save for Football Manager 2017 this year. In today's first episode, I've got a bit of explaining to do, but we're also going to look at our club, we're going to look at everything that happens when you first join the team, we're going to look at our squad and so on, and potentially some transfers. But before we actually get into the video, if you are excited for this series, let me know by slapping a like on the video. Also comment down below, and if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's get straight to it. Okay, so as I said, I've got a bit of explaining to do, and you wouldn't have known, but I'll just explain it anyway. Basically, I've recorded the first 2 episodes of this series anyway, like they're already recorded. But then I've gone to edit episode 1, which is obviously this episode, and I realised I had no audio. So basically what I've done is I've just literally restarted the save, not completely, I'll explain that in a minute, but basically I've just gone back, joined Hertha Berlin, and here you can see, you know, I've just joined just so you can see the team and so on, and what happens when you initially join. The fact I'm 22 years of age is incorrect. The manager picture is also incorrect, as you can see there, but, you know, in episode 2, it will all make sense. It'll be my actual profile, because I've already recorded episode 2, which is the whole transfer season and everything, so I already know what happens, and I already know what happens in our pre-season and our first actual match of the Bundesliga, but let's get to it anyway. Okay, so we get welcomed obviously by our president, Werner Gengenbr. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce names in this series because I struggle with English names. I'm gonna struggle with German names. If you are any way connected to Hertha Berlin, let me know if that is the actual president of Hertha Berlin or whether Football Manager has just put him in there. You're probably wondering, why have I gone with Hertha? The answer is kind of straightforward. I went to Berlin earlier this year, and I went to the stadium and all that, obviously the Olympic Stadium, or the Olympic Stadion, I believe it's called, and it was pretty incredible, to be fair. So I thought there's a bit of a connection, and there is a reason to go with Berlin or Hertha. And obviously in Germany, it's Dortmund and Bayern that win everything. I want someone else to start winning something, you know, pretty soon. So let's attend this meeting anyway, so it's, you know, you guys know this stuff. I'm just going to skip through this, to be honest. Okay, so some transfer updates. As you can see, we've got a player out on loan. Again, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but we've also got a Liverpool lad. Obviously, if you are familiar with the channel, you know I'm a Liverpool fan, and this guy is Alan. He's a centre midfielder. He's very young, I believe he's 19, there we go, got it spot on. He's got a very, very high potential ability, and he can't actually get a work permit at Liverpool. That's why he's obviously out on loan, and he keeps going out on loan from Liverpool. Injury update, we've got 1 injury, 4 to 6 months, Duda, which is obviously a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest, but we will get round it. I'm not too sure if he's actually injured in the actual save, if that makes sense. Obviously, as I said before, this is just going back to show you guys what happens when I first joined the club, as I didn't want to just skip the whole of pre-season, because it wouldn't have made much sense to you guys. Let's just see. Yeah, we don't really need to look at that. Here's the report. We'll come to that in a moment. It's not too important at this moment in time. There's obviously all the advice that we get offered. There's some scouting as well. I'll take a look at that in a minute, even though I already know what players have signed. But we'll take a look at this squad anyway. Okay, so when I first join a club, what I actually do is I actually get the best players, and I'll stick them into the squad. So I'm just going to go like that. I'm going to drop Wieser in there. The best players, as I said, so you just want to literally pick the best players and lob them into the positions that they are familiar with. Okay, so there is all of our best players based on ability in the squad. We've got some young lads in the team, obviously Alan, Kurt as well, even Stark, the centre-back, defensive midfielder. He can play anywhere as well, but there's a couple of players as well. Interestingly, in the, you know, reserve type of thing, is he actually in? Yeah, he's in the Hertha 2, or the second team, basically. And it's this guy, what's he called? Florian Bach, I believe that's how you say his name. Another centre-back. I actually do bring him into the first team squad. I'm not going to do it right now because there's no point, because this is literally for this episode, but he will come into the first team squad. Okay, so if we take a quick look at our team report, you know, just to get an idea of squad depth, we're alright in the attacking areas. We're not the best. We're not the best in the midfield either. If you want to pause this video at any point to take a look at our actual team, be sure to do so. Feel free to just have a little pause. I'm not going to go in a great amount of you know, a great amount of depth in terms of the team, because obviously I do bring some signings in, but you know, definitely at the back I am looking to strengthen, you know, the wings and centre-back really, and just get a solid defence on the go, and then kind of work forward from there. As you'll be able to see now, we don't have the biggest of transfer budgets, just over 2 million, with £20,000 per week to spend, but we can attract the attentions of some pretty decent players. It's a shame we don't actually have that much money available to us, because we really could have, we could have actually made good use of it if we did have some kind of extra funds available to us, but we'll just get by, to be fair. Okay, so in terms of training throughout preseason, I like to put it on tactical and high, but I also like to have a lot of match preparation, sometimes even 3 days. I'll probably go with 3 days, to be fair, throughout preseason. I'm quite sure, I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but I'm quite sure I do cancel all the friendlies and then play actual better friendlies, bigger teams to get more money in. Obviously, as you've just seen, we've not got the biggest of transfer budgets, so we need to find some money from somewhere, and that's one way of doing it. Another thing to note, we are actually in European football. We're in the Europa League, but we're in like the third qualifying round, which I believe you actually play the third qualifying round, then you play the playoff. I believe that's what it's called. So there is 2 rounds if we do get there. And then if we get through that, we are into the Europa League proper group stage, which you will have to stay tuned to episode 2 to find out whether we do so. I already know, but I'm not going to spoil anything. In terms of our staff, we are kind of below average, I'd say on a whole. We're obviously below average in scouting and the medical staff, and then a couple of things we are below average or bang on average in terms of coaching staff, so that will have to be addressed, because if I've got this long-term plan of actually getting to the top of German football, the staff are obviously going to be very, very integral to that, so we will have to look into that. Okay, so just looking at the team report from a different stance, what's good, what's not good. Kalu is one of the many players who can play left midfield, which does show a good squad depth. To be fair, we've got a couple of good youngsters. I'll take a look at them guys. Goalkeepers, we've got good goalkeeper depth. Defense, it is actually saying that we have got decent options at right and left back, but we don't have depth. That's my, concern. In terms of the weaknesses, obviously, there we go. So we've not got enough players supporting our right back. There's not enough quality and depth, there we go, outside the first team squad. Blah blah blah. What else? What's really important? Work rate isn't that high, which is something that I like to integrate, so they'll probably have to try and get used to that. To be honest, we do need a high working team. Now, I'm not too sure what type of tactic I'm going to play. I don't know if I should play like that, or I should actually have the player up there. I'm not too sure if I'm going to go attacking or not just yet, so you'll have to wait until episode 2 to actually see the tactics getting formed. Let's take a quick look at the club history. As I said, I'm not going to be doing too much in this episode, obviously, and then in episode 2 I'll be doing like the whole of pre-season. I'll have Europa League matches, I'll have transfers, and I'll have our first game in the Bundesliga. But in terms of the history of Hertha Berlin, they've won the German First Division twice, the German Second Division 3 times, the German League Cup, which I don't think is actually a tournament anymore because you can't actually click it, and they've won the German Regional Division Berlin, which I'm guessing, considering we're the best team in Berlin, it's kind of obvious that we were going to win that. Let's take a look at landmarks, isn't it? No, it's competitions, right? So we've not won the German First Division in, I'm trying to do this in my head, 85 years. I think I'm right in saying that. That's a long, long time. So obviously we do need to fix that as soon as possible, which will be nice. Let's see if we are affiliated with anyone. We're affiliated with one team, which is obviously our second team, so that's kind of interesting. They're in the German Regional Division Northeast. Couldn't even tell you what that is, to be honest. Right, so our expectations, I'll just run you through this actually, because mid-table finish is actually what I selected, or it may have been Europa League qualification in the actual save that I've started. The third round of the German Cup is absolutely spot on, that is correct. But the Europa League reached the quarterfinal. That was not the expectation. The expectation was actually only to reach the playoff, I believe, or the group stages, so that's what the expectation was for that. Okay, and a quick look at the finances. I'm not too sure if you guys will be interested in this. Our overall balance is 28 million, and our financial fair play, we are projected to be over by 26.1 million pounds, so we can spend if we do want to, but we've not got too much to spend. So that's the only concern really for me. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave this episode. As I said, I'm not doing too much in this one. Episode 2 is going to be the main episode, but I just kind of wanted to introduce the series to you guys. Let me know if you're excited for it by dropping a like. Also, comment down below anything you want to ask or say about the series. Let me know if you're hyped. That'll be a good thing. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new around here. But thank you for watching, guys. Until next time, goodbye.